All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another segment in the 206 to 559 podcast. This is our sports podcast. We're doing an actual video recording, and I'm honored to be joined by my brother Julian Alcaraz. Welcome him to the building.
Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing today?
Give an intro, give a little spiel about yourself, what you
You
like.
already know. You already know the dig, bro. This is my brother for life, John Nathaniel. He said, come hop on this podcast real quick. We got a top 10 ranking, and I said, I'm about to get on that piece right quick. Dallas
Right.
Cowboys fan. Horrible. It's been the worst 20 years of my life as a Cowboys fan, but it's fine. So we're here. We're ready. Let's get it rolling.
Like he said today, we're gonna do a top 10 power rankings as of week 13 or 12 this past week. Um, Ravens and Steelers have not played, but one team will be in our top tens. So how it's going to go down? I'm going to start with my top 10. We're just going to popcorn a little bit, and then he's going to do his top 10. We'll popcorn a little bit, and then we'll just see how it goes. All right, I'm going to start from 10 to 1. At number 10, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Um, if I'm not wrong, their record is 7-4. They're pretty solid. They could be a lot better. Ronald Jones has been really good. He's been really solid for them. Of course, you got guys like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown, like one of the premier slot guys for a really long time. He's going to go down as one of the best slot guys to ever play. Um, but Brady hasn't been himself like he has in the past 2 years. He's deep balls really inconsistent, but that run game is going to carry them. That defense is pretty good. Young secondary, a lot of promise. That pass rush might need to pick up a little bit later on in the playoffs. And at number 9, I have the 8-3 Cleveland Browns. Maybe it's just because I'm a Nick Chubb fan, but I think that he's going to carry them deep into the playoffs. They could go even championship level if they could slip past another couple teams up in my top 10. Not the biggest fan of Baker Mayfield. Um, Jarvis Landry just had his first touchdown on the year, which is crazy to believe. And, a lot of young tight ends, really good tight end core. The offensive line has been, in the works. But that defense is there. It's real. And I think that defense can really hold them, even though they're very young. And at number 8, I have the Tennessee Titans. Um, all I'm going to say is Derrick Henry. Everything goes through King. Everything goes through that King. Derrick Henry, league leader in rusher. He had 3 touchdowns last week, just dominated. Um, he's going to be a guy that, like last year in the playoffs, he's going to carry them very far. Defense is okay, in all 3 levels. They could do a lot better, but AJ Brown and Derrick Henry, they're going to be really key, and you're going to have to use those guys a lot in the playoffs. And at number 7, I have the Los Angeles Rams. Um, I think the way their offense runs is really, really unique and really smooth. That like spread, just sweep motion offense gets a lot of moving parts, but it's very simple, bare bones. It's just get people moving horizontally and attack them vertically. That running back core, they have flashes, but they're not the best on this tier list. So they're gonna, when it comes down to it late in the playoffs, it's gonna be how well Aaron Donald can get to the quarterback and how well these guys can run the ball. And at number 6, I have the Buffalo Bills. This is a team that started off really hot. Josh Allen was really good through the beginning and then kind of got a little cold, and then he started to pick things up. But I think that this team is only going to go as far as their defense can carry them, which right now their defense has not been playing as well as they had in the beginning. Tre'Davious White's still one of the premier corners. Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, really good duo, could be one of the best. And this young pass rush is going to have to step up. They're going to have to get a good rotation going, and Josh Allen is going to have to play very clean. Stephon Diggs is one of the best at the receiver position, and Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, really good running back core, good smash and dash. And at number 5, I have the Green Bay Packers. As much as I hate Aaron Rodgers, he's still one of the better quarterbacks in this league. Him and Devontae Adams are a 1-2 punch to watch out for sure. Even if they had a quieter game like they did against the Bears on Sunday night, that touchdown early really secured it, and then they just rode that horrible Bears team into the ground. Aaron Jones is really good. Actually, I have Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams on my fantasy team. So whenever I can, watch a Packer game, I'll try and watch them score. This defense is a little soft. I feel like they can get run through very easily, despite having a guy like Kenny Clark at nose tackle. This is a team that's going to have to really, really hunker down and be able to stop the run late into the playoff run, even at home in Green Bay while it's cold. And at number 4, you guys know I'm a Seahawks fan. I got to put them a little higher than a lot of other people do. But I've watched every Seahawks game for as long as I can remember, and it's always been Russell Wilson in a run game and the defense. But this year, defense started off rough. Run game started off rough, especially with Chris Carson, Carlos Hyde injuries, and Russell Wilson had a really cold streak as of the past 4 or 5 games. Even this game didn't do too well. But fed DK Metcalf, one of the best in the game. He could be one of the best by the time he's in his peak. And seeing Chris Carson 16-yard touchdown run last night just proved that we need that bruiser. Just a guy that could get those 2-3 yards, and even all by himself on a 16-yard touchdown. The offensive line is the biggest problem at this point after fixing that pass rush. But aside from Dwayne Brown, everything's just a chess piece at this point. Pass rush has improved. Linebacker plays improved. I'm still worried about cornerback, aside from Shaquille Griffin. Trey Flowers is not getting the job done. Neither is DJ Reader or Ugo Amadi in the slot. And number 3, I have the New Orleans Saints. Even without Drew Brees, Taysom Hill can get the job done. Very few mistakes, very few turnovers, and he can run very well. Of course, Alvin Kamara, one of my favorite running backs. He can do it all. Pass. He can run downhill, outside, through zones. He can do it all. And with Taysom Hill, a very, very dynamic backfield. I like Michael Thomas. I know Julian does not. I like Michael Thomas. I think he's a really good pass catcher. I think he's a good route runner. And I think that, when it comes down to it, on 3rd and shorts, they're going to look to him first. And I think that's what they got to do in the playoffs. Defense overall, love C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I like Marshawn Lattimore and was it Marcus Williams, I think it is, their safety. Linebacker core is aging, but I think they can get it done this season. And number 2, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the only undefeated team as of right now. And their offense is really kicking. Despite having a pretty quiet run game this year, it's been, was it Deontay Johnson? Juju Smith-Schuster and Chase Claypool, of course, one of the star rookies this year. Not the biggest fan of Juju, but he gets the job done day in and day out. This defense is really good. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward still kicking in his, I think, 10th year. This secondary, really good, really solid. No one really pops on paper, but they can play. Number 2 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. This past Sunday, you could see how well, they could just throw the ball all over you. Speed with Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, 2 great shifty receiving backs with, Le'Veon Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Shout out to all the short kings out there, running around at 5'6". But, he's really good. And, of course, the number 1 best tight end in the game, Travis Kelce, just keeps eating out there. This defense, like last year, was kind of worrisome, like they were against the Texans until the Chiefs just took over that second half. Pass rush is okay. Without Chris Jones, it's a totally different game. The linebacking core is, to be honest, one of the worst in the league, in my opinion. Damian Wilson and Julian knows who he is. They're both former Cowboys. But, those 2 guys, I don't think those 2 guys are going to get it done. Secondary was a mess at the beginning. But I think it was L'Jarius Sneed, rookie out of somewhere. I forgot. He was like a 5th-round pick. He's been playing really good. Love Juan Thornhill. But my Chiefs are the number 1 team as of right now. And the way my rankings work is I just believe every team going from 10 to 1 can beat the previous team. Like the Browns can beat the Bucks, Titans can beat the Browns, Rams can beat the Titans, as so on and so forth. So those are my top 10. And I'm going to pass it on to you, my man.
All righty. Okay. So there's a little It's pretty bad. The Ravens aren't in my top 10. They weren't in your top 10 either. I don't have the Bucks in my top 10 as well. I do think that Tom Brady is having some mishaps. Obviously he's proven that he's still a good quarterback. The better half of the league. He had that stretch where he really looked like a true MVP candidate for about 4 games or so, and then it kind of started deteriorating. He started yelling at his teammates and whatnot, and it's just kind of been like this whole issue. At my number 10, I actually have the Cleveland Browns, although I don't believe in Baker Mayfield at all. He's kind of had like a really cold stretch. I think last week or the week before that, Dak Prescott had more passing yards than him, and he hasn't played in the NFL since like week 4. So it's pretty bad. And then you have, this elite arsenal of offensive talent at the tight end position, at wide receiver. You have these 2 elite backs. Nick Chubb was gone for a little bit off that injury. He's back now. There's no reason why OBJ should have 600 yards and 3 touchdowns. 300 yards. It's not even 600. 600 is Jarvis Landry, who has only 1 touchdown, and that was just this past week. There's no excuse for that. But the reason I do believe in them is because of that defense, and that defense is pretty nasty. You have Myles Garrett, who has 9.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 2 recoveries, 7 tackles for loss, and 14 quarterback hits. Denzel Ward injured as well as Garrett. He was having a nice, 2 interception year so far. He has 15 passes defended, which is extremely good for someone his size. He's really like in your face. If he's blitzing, he can, rush down and help you. On defense, he's just a really good, like, in your face kind of guy. I really like that defense. They're really young. They're really coachable. I just really believe that if they're gonna make it through, it'll be with that that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, because Kareem Hunt has over 500 yards in the air, 500 yards on the ground. Nick Chubb just came back, has 700 yards on the ground. It's really good. Number 9, I actually have the Arizona Cardinals, which you probably won't respect because, the games. Their defense is pretty good. I like Budda Baker a lot, but he could have had their only defensive touchdown on the season if he didn't get tackled by DK. But, things happen. Don't sleep on Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has almost 3,000 yards passing. He has 19 touchdowns, although he has, a couple picks, a lot of picks. But he does have 650 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground as well. So he can get it on the air, on the ground. I think that defense is really good. Isaiah Simmons is starting to play at a high caliber, which we kind of haven't seen lately. He's kind of that Swiss Army knife that they have in the backfield. At number 8, I have the Tennessee Titans. They're a solid all-around team. They're really coachable. I love Mike Vrabel. He's kind of just that coach that everybody kind of gets on board with. They really respect him. He's really a good guy. I really like him. 14 sacks is pretty bad though as a defense. Their defense has 14 sacks. It's on the the lower scale in the NFL. They have 11 picks, 16 total turnovers. Ryan Tannehill, his passing percentage has kind of went down 5% since last year, which is fine because we still got a couple games to go. But it's Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is that workhorse. 1,200 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns. That's pretty scary with a guy that size running at you full speed. But until that defense improves and proves that they can get to the quarterback at will and just really mush their way into that backfield with the quarterback, I don't really think that they can be up there. They can beat the lower teams on my list, but I just don't think once they start pushing up, they're gonna get them. At number 7, it's another close call. It's another bad one for you, Jonathan. I apologize. I have the Seattle Seahawks. I love Russell Wilson. He's probably my favorite quarterback in the NFL, but he's been on a very cold streak lately, and it's okay. Against Philadelphia, you can blame the wind, you can blame the defense that was playing good. Jim Schwartz coaches a really nice defense, no matter who's on that team. 3,200 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, but 10 picks, 70% completions. It's fine, it's okay. But that defense is really the issue. I don't like Jamal Adams. 2 first-round picks. You need a safety who plays coverage, and you're just not getting that when he plays. He's a good blitzer. He's gonna smack your running back. He's gonna smack your quarterback if he gets the chance. He has 8 sacks or something like that. It's just I just don't think it's worth 2 first-round picks. It's just not. DK Metcalf is a beast. I love him. Tyler Lockett, he's just that guy who's gonna run down the field, beat all your corners, and get that deep ball. It's a really good team, but until that defense improves and that offensive line is horrible, 35 sacks allowed, that's 8 shy of their record that they had last year, 43 on the year. They just really need to fix that defense when it comes to coverage in the passing game, and they need to fix that offensive line, but that's going to take some time. At number 6, I do have the Buffalo Bills. Defense is really nice. It's really good. Josh Allen is playing fantastic football this season. Started off again on a hot streak, but kind of dwindled down. It's a good team though. 8-3 record. They have a defense with 30 sacks. You have Josh Allen, who is just playing amazing. 22 touchdowns and 8 picks. He's running the ball really well. 311 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground. I mean, what more can you really say about that? At number 5, I got the Rams, the LA Rams, my dad's team. I didn't put them there because they're my dad's team. I put them there because they beat the Seahawks. They should have beat the Bills. That was a horrible call towards the end. I'm not going to get into that. That defense. Aaron Donald is just a beast. Jalen Ramsey, he's been getting beat a little bit, but he's still a number 1 corner. He's probably the top 3 corners in the league right now. Aaron Donald has just been on a tear. I mean, this guy is insane. He's just that big body guy that you need. He's been the best defender in the league since he came in. Just improved every single year. The Rams are really good. Jared Goff has had really bad games, a lot of them. But if he can improve that into the playoffs or whatever, I think they have a chance because he's proved that he can take them to the Super Bowl, but it's just not consistent enough right now. At number 4, I have the Saints. I don't like Drew Brees. He's not playing anymore. Obviously, he had that injury. He doesn't throw the ball down the field, Alvin Kamara, I really like Alvin Kamara. He's a really balanced back. 500 yards rushing, over 500 yards rushing, over 600 yards receiving, 9 yards per reception, 12 total touchdowns. They're 9-2 because of that defense, though. That defense has played well. The defense has 33 quarterback hits, 12 takeaways, 14 sacks, and 28 total points allowed right now. And that's horrible. I think they haven't had a 100-yard rusher in a long span. So they're really up there. Number 3, the Steelers. They're undefeated. Yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's the defense. Ben Roethlisberger has came back from that injury pretty well. He's like old, obviously, but he's came back. Nobody thought he would be that solid, but he's not that Big Ben we're used to. 2,500 yards, 25 TDs, 5 picks. It's pretty nice, but it's that defense. It's that TJ Watt with 9 sacks, a pick, 30 quarterback hits, 6 pass defended. They rank 20th in offense, though. And when you have guys like Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith, you have that 3-back backfield with James Conner. Then you got the guy they drafted from Maryland. I think it's McFarland or something like that. And then they got Snell. Like it should be a solid backfield and a solid offense, but they're ranked 20th. You play the Cowboys. They should have lost to us. I'm not going to get into that again. It's just they need to improve on offense like they have been on defense because that defense is disgusting. And next season with Ben, with his contract and everything that's going on, they really need to fix that. Okay. I have the Packers at number 2. Now, why are they number 2? Aaron Rodgers is a beast. He's been playing at a high level. Not a lot of people respect him. Not a lot of people give him that recognition that he deserves. I hate the Packers. I have my reasons, but he's playing well. He has 3,100 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and they're 4th in total offense in the league, which is not bad. For over 400 yards a game. Adams has just under 1,000 yards catching, but 11 touchdowns is ridiculous. You're a fantasy owner. Obviously, you respect that. The defense it's good. They're showing flashes of solid play, but they need to do it on a consistent basis in order to, move up the rank. But they're not going to beat Kansas City. Obviously, number 1, Kansas City. Why? Mahomes, he's MVP right now. The best offense in football. I mean, when you have Tyreek Hill and, and you have Travis Kelce, it's pretty easy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire kind of slipped on his game so far, but it's pretty good. They're averaging over 420 yards a game, averaging over 30 points a game. Mahomes has almost 3,500 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Are you kidding me? He has 215 rush yards and 2 touchdowns. They're 10-1. If that defense, which they've been playing pretty well, because obviously you're not 10-1 on accident, if that defense can somehow really buy into a system, I think they'll be solid. I think they can win the Super Bowl, obviously. That defense it's good. It just needs to get better and match that high-powered offense because the offense is going to be quick. They're going to get on the field. They're going to be off. They're going to score. They need to fix that defense.
All right, man. So those are our top 10 power rankings. Each, a couple teams are in the same areas for us. I think we had the Titans at 8. We both had the Bills at 6 and the Chiefs at number 1. Great minds think alike, but we each got our own thing. We each watch our own games. But you know, what are two teams that were close but didn't make your top 10?
The Bucks and I'm gonna go with the Ravens. The Ravens, I just don't think I've seen enough out of Lamar Jackson that showed me he's improved. He won MVP. Obviously, he's a good guy. He had an extremely incredible season last year, but this year he's just kind of been flat.
Hmm.
Doesn't really push the ball with a lot of effort down the field anymore. You can say that he doesn't have like high caliber weapons and this and that, but he's your MVP last year. He should be improving on his game. That defense is nice. That offense is not. I just don't like the offense. The Bucks, just Tom Brady. I can't buy into his system right now because like it seems every time there's a bad game, he blames the teammates. He doesn't blame himself. There's rumblings that him and Bruce Arians are kind of falling off right now. The defense is nice. It's young. They're gonna get better, but with all those options on offense, you should at least get more wins. They're in your top 10, obviously, but I just haven't bought into that system.
So
And
you
we're
have the Ravens and the Bucks.
mm-hmm.
For me, I have the Colts actually at 7-4, and if the Raiders won, they actually would have made it to my top 10 at 7-3. I think it was. Oh, they would be 7-4. They just got obliterated. I just honestly that was just a breakdown. I don't know exactly what happened. Derek Carr couldn't throw the ball. Josh Jacobs wasn't even on the field half the time. That defense gave up a lot to this Atlanta offense with the aging Matt Ryan, no Julio Jones, and Todd Gurley didn't even touch the field. And they just got demolished. I don't know what happened. Their pass rush was picking up. Their secondary was playing good up until this game. It might have just been a dry spell. It might have been some Southern voodoo. I ain't gonna say nothing. But something happened, and I don't know. If the Raiders won, they for sure would have made my top 10.
I think
And the
another team
Colts,
that could have snuck in was the Dolphins. The
oh, at
Dolphins
7-4.
that
Oh yeah.
defense is just it's nice. That special teams is really good. It's
Hmm.
just that offense that needs to buy into the system as well.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead with the Colts.
The Colts. I feel like literally the only thing holding him back is Philip Rivers. I feel like if Jacoby Brissett was in, he isn't as good as a passer and as good as reading, but he adds that little bit of athleticism, mobility in the pocket, and he just that younger age adds a little bit more effort in plays, like on that interception where Philip Rivers just kind of just threw his body up for grabs and just try to touch something, but or like even like get Jacob Eason in. I love his arm, but we'll see where it goes. And so I'll ask you one question. Who is your Super Bowl matchup as of right now?
Um, I have the Chiefs. Obviously, I just don't think anyone's gonna match them right now. And when it comes to the NFC, it's a little tricky because I don't trust Drew Brees if he comes back. He has a new arm. He hasn't really thrown the ball down the field, which is okay. Which is why I don't really like Michael Thomas because we haven't really seen him as a deep threat just yet this season. He's missed a lot of games, some because he was injured, some because he can't close his mouth. That defense is solid, though. I don't know if that defense is going to carry them if that offense is weak. The Packers have been really good. If I'm being completely honest, I think the Rams might be a team to watch. I think they'll definitely be in the NFC Championship if Jared Goff can get his, mind right. If he can, commit to passing the ball earlier and not throwing really bad passes. He just seems to get kind of scared and just throw really flat passes. I really like Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. They're solid. It's just that he needs to really like calm down. In the pocket you're pretty rushed, but he's been making some throws that are just really iffy. But um I don't think it's gonna be the Packers. The Niners last year against the Packers, that kind of really showed me all I had to see. I'm gonna go with Rams and Seahawks. The Seahawks only because of Russell Wilson. So I'm gonna give the edge to the Seahawks. But they're gonna lose bad, and they're gonna get smacked. That defense is not gonna hold up. What about you?
All right, man. For me, it's gonna sound biased, but I do think it's gonna be the Seahawks making it to the Super Bowl. When it comes down to it, Aaron Rodgers has been really clutch in the playoffs. So has Drew Brees. Aaron Rodgers, I just don't think that defense is going to hold up against, when it gets cold, when it gets wet. If they have to play outside, I don't think this team can match up physically in the run game as you would want them to be, against a team, against some of the teams that have, more versatile backfields, like, like I said, the Rams. And like you said, they could go pretty far. Malcolm Brown, he's a bigger back, but he's really, fluid and a good pass catcher. Of course, you got Daryl Henderson, really good back. And then Cam Akers, who we've seen a lot of in the beginning, and then his touches have been, minimized, but, he's still there. And then, even like the 1-2 punch of Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray got the job done. I think it was this past week. Really good. He dominated. I think 2 touchdowns. And that's their number 2 back. So their number 1 back can do a lot more damage. And then I think, of course, high-powered offense. Like I say, you want that run game in the late in the playoffs, but there's just too much speed, too much versatility on the Chiefs offense, where they could take a short pass and turn it 80 yards and go down the field and just score in a flash. So I think it's going to be the Seahawks and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I think my Seahawks will edge them. I think Russell Wilson is the key to this game. I think it's going to be a really close win or a blowout loss, like you said. It could be a 20-plus loss, 16-plus loss. But if we win, I think it could be a 3 to even a one-point game. So before we end it, let's just have one surprise team and one disappointing team from you.
I think the surprise team this season has to be the Dolphins. They're second in their division. AFC East obviously has been run by the Patriots since we were born, But that defense has really come alive in the past couple games. When they played the Rams, I did not expect that at all. Their defense, their special teams made Tua's debut so much easier. I think Tua just kind of has to settle, getting benched and this and that for Ryan. It didn't really sit well with him. You can really see it on his face. But they're really good. They're a young team. That defense is getting a little old. There's some pieces that are getting old, but you give them a nice line. Devontae Parker, when he's healthy, super healthy, you get him another receiver or something. I think they're going to be set for next year. They're a really surprised team. A disappointing team has to be the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. You can say, oh, there's so much more disappointing teams. No, it's not. Dak Prescott getting injured just broke my heart. Zeke has been just one of the worst backs I've seen this season. He's just oh my God. He's on my fantasy team too. He's just playing really bad. The offensive line is banged up. Our defense has been horrendous. Everybody we signed in free agency has basically left or got dropped. It's been a disappointing season. It's probably going to be the same thing next year. And I'm probably going to die without us winning a Super Bowl. I've accepted that fate. It's just this year was a bigger disappointment than all the years past.
All right, for me, the surprising team is I was actually gonna go with the Steelers. Even though they are 10-0, they have had the same weapons. I think Chase Claypool has really evolved their offense into, okay, it's not just Juju. There's another bigger, faster, stronger dude out there. Not going to compare him to DK or to Megatron. Each of those guys are their own. But as you can tell, fly sweeps. Chase Claypool can get touchdowns and carries. Down the field, he could get touchdowns and carries, catches. And, he just adds a whole nother element. And this defense really surprised me. I thought Big Ben and this defense were both going to take a step back. They're both a little older. This team's a little more old school when it comes to, just their defense, just playing 3-4, just let me come at you. I thought that many teams would be able to wash over that playing defense. But, Mike Tomlin, that just attacking defense just never seems to surprise people. Really good at getting to the quarterback, and it allows no time for these receivers to get down the field and make their cuts and make their double moves, and for quarterbacks to make their reads. So I think that team actually surprised me. I thought they would be at about 6-5 at this point. I thought they'd be middle of the pack, and I thought the Ravens would be running away with it. But the most disappointing team to me actually is the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of people were, expecting Dalvin Cook to, cook, and Adam Thielen to really reemerge as that number one, and Kirk Cousins to take a step up, and this defense to really come full circle with, drafting Jeff Gladney at corner, which he was supposed to play. But Mike Zimmer does not actually like to play rookie corners, as I've heard. So, drafting a guy so high that's supposed to be a really good press corner and not playing him as a true number one, not saying that he would have changed the game and that he would make him a positive team. But at this point, you're just looking at a team with so much potential, especially with Justin Jefferson, my favorite, rookie receiver, S tier cutie. We will have a list like that later, but he's really good, really solid. He can get down the field, he can run over the middle, he can run all day long, and he's a really good route runner, really smooth. But I think that for some reason this team is just not clicking this year. And those are my surprising, disappointing teams. Would you like to say anything? Plug yourself.
I just want to say Russell Wilson's not winning MVP. I'm sorry, I don't want to break your heart. He's just not going to win MVP. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. I want to say if you guys are going to slander the Cowboys, don't even try. I hate the Cowboys more than you think, and they're my favorite team. Plug. I don't even know my Instagram handle, but if it's on YouTube, he'll probably just drop it down there. Be sure to subscribe to Jonathan Daniels podcast. It takes a lot of work, as crazy as it sounds, to write out the stats and just talk. And he's doing his own thing. He's doing it by himself. I'm honored to be invited. I really thank you. And I love you a lot. The Seahawks are going to win.
I love you too, man. Appreciate you for having you on. It's been a while. I've been trying to get, Julian on. I consider him my brother. We've known each other for so long. We've done so many, dumb stuff, fun stuff. We've done it all. If you check my YouTube channel, we stream. This video is actually going to get uploaded to a new YouTube channel called the 206 to 559 Sports Podcast. And this will be the first video uploaded. Please like and share. Follow my boy Julian, on social media. He does have a page. He does write blogs for a sports writing page. I will comment his Instagram link in the video below. Thank y'all. Thanks for listening in. Share, like, and if you got any content you want to talk about, just personally DM me on my Instagram page, 206 to 559 podcast on Instagram. Thank y'all for listening in. Please like and share, and have a great rest of your day. Doses.